Hello, welcome back to another Theory Thursday. Today we are doing a chord analysis of a beautiful ballad, I Can't Get Started With You. I love this tune. I play it whenever I can. If it hasn't shown up on the channel, it definitely will. It's one of my favorites. So I'm wearing my Seiko SNKL today. Very special watch to me. My first automatic movement. And I actually bought this for my wedding, although I didn't end up wearing it for my wedding. So, a little funny story. As always, if you've been enjoying the tune videos, the theory videos, just the music videos, any of it, a like and subscribe is always appreciated. Of course, not necessary, just keeps the channel going and the community growing. So, I think that's it for today. Without further ado, chord analysis. I Can't Get Started With You. Let's go. Here we are. I Can't Get Started With You. A beautiful ballad. As you can see, let's just jump right in. Key of C. No sharps, no flats. Nice little pickup here. Easy peasy first line. We have our 1 chord. We have our minor 6 chord. 2 chord, 5 chord. Maybe the most basic progression we have in jazz here. 1, 6, 2, 5. Not to be outdone by the 3, 6, 2, 5, which almost happens here. Instead of a minor 3 here, we have a major 3 leading us to our 6 chord. So I'd call this a 5 of 6 just because it's dominant. An E dominant 7. Our 6 chord. And just to round it out, instead of our regular 2 chord, we have a dominant D, a D dominant 7, which would be a 5 of 5. And of course, we get our 5 chord, leading us straight back to 1. And then, of course, we get a little tag here. Minor 6, 2, 5. Oh, I'll write that a little better. 2, 5. Altered dominant, as you can see, with the flat 9. Doesn't matter too much. This is where we get some cool harmony action, though. Take a look at where we're going. We know this phrase ends with a 2, 5, 1. Or rather, not here, but at the top, right? Let me change to blue just to make it clear. We're heading here. We're heading to 1. 2, 5, heading to 1, right? Because that's the second ending. There's a repeat there. So we know we're ending with a 2, 5, and this is a D dominant 7. It's not minor, so I'd call this a 5 of 5 instead of a 2. Regardless, 2, 5 basically. So to get there, what's the easiest way to get to a D? I'll throw in an A7. 5 of 2. Now you might notice I put a minor 2 here, even though we're getting a major 2. We're getting a D7, not a D minor 7. But when it comes to chord analysis, I mean, you have to read left to right, and context does matter. But if you're listening to this in real time, when your ear hears this, you're not thinking we're going to stay outside of the key. Your ear's always thinking, okay, we're in the key. And that's why change of keys and throwing in second dominance is so cool and so pleasing to the ear, because it surprises you. So that's why this is a 5 of 2, because technically this shouldn't be a major chord if we're staying in the key of C, but you can string these along. So A7 does lead to D minor, and it does lead to D7, but in the context of C major, the key we're in here, D is supposed to be a minor chord. So that's why that's that. Okay, but let's look at this cool looking thing. What the heck is that? That's not in the key of C. Now, if you've watched some of the other videos here, you've heard me talk about the tritone sub. Okay, that's a U. Tritone sub, which is what this is. So let's take a look at usually how we would get to an A. Any A, minor, major, doesn't matter, is throw in the dominant 7 belonging to an A, which is an E7, right? E leads to A. So what would an E7 look like? Well, oh, I can't write it out there. E7 is made up of an E, G sharp, B, and a D. That's an E7 chord. And you know what? To throw in a cool little, just one more extension, make it a flat 9. Okay, and all of a sudden, we have an F. Okay. So what do we have up here? B flat 7 flat 5. B flat 7 flat 5. B flat. D. F flat. A flat, also known as G sharp, but not in regards to a B flat chord, call it an A flat. And yeah, that's it. So take a look at this. This is the magic right here. And if this wasn't a flat 5, we'd have even one more common tone here. Usually tritone subs don't have that flat 5. They're just a dominant 7. In which case we can have 3 common tones. But this is the magic right here. So in an E7, G sharp to D is a tritone. Now we have the same 2 notes here, D to A flat. And that's why it works, is we have these common tones. So I always thought that was kind of cool. So still have the tritone just flipped. And that's why it works. So this is a tritone sub. Now that you know it works. Oops. That's spam. Now that you know it works, that's what this is. So this is acting as an E7. Tritone sub. Cool. Okay, and then it repeats, goes back to the beginning, and all of a sudden, let's take our second ending. Now we know these are 1 chords. This is what we call a backdoor dominant. Okay, it's a flat 7 in the key of C. Right? There's no B flat. B would be 7. B flat's a flat 7. So why does that work? Well, here's another one of those substitution things. Usually to get to a C chord, you throw in a G7. Right? That's the dominant 7. That's a 5 chord. So, what's a G made of? G, B, D, F. Very cool. We're using a B flat. What's that made up of? B flat, D, F, and what is it? A flat? Yeah. So again, take a look at this. D and F. D and F. And let's go one step further. Make it a flat 9. I mean, really, we're changing bass notes here. It's just, there's so many common tones, and that's why it works. Tritone subs, and here's your new lesson on backdoor dominance. So you can always get to a chord by going down 2 half steps and making a dominant 7 chord. And that's why that leads there, because it's acting as a G7, but it's a backdoor dominant. And that's why we call it that. So let's keep rolling. This is a cool section. You'll see we're in a new the B section here, denoted by the double bar. And you can tell sonically because, take a look at this. E minor to A7, E minor to A7, headed to D. Okay, that's textbook 2, 5, 2, 5, 1. Now you're saying, John, why you call that a 1? We're not in the key of D. What are you talking about? Check this out. Look at all these F sharps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we get another, an F natural because it's a leading tone down to E, and we go up to A. Okay, we're hitting the F sharp pretty much every beat, right? Every half beat. So the composer's obviously trying to hit you over the head with this, and just to put a period on it, he throws a G major 7 at you, right? That also has an F sharp in it. So we're no longer in the key of C because of this, and this, and this, and all these F sharps. Okay, so that's my reasoning. Is this is now a 4 chord, this is a 1 chord. Okay, because of this whole phrase is we've changed keys now. Okay, so let's keep rolling. Now we have a D minor, G7, D minor, G7, which if you're looking up, looks very familiar, just in a new key. You'd be right. Let's take a look. Before we write anything, let's take a look and see where we're going. We have another E minor A7, which is very similar to this. Although, can't say we're in D anymore, because look, we have a D dominant 7. We have D minors all over the place. So we have to keep looking along the chain and see where we end up. We do end up going to a C, and we have the end of the section, double bar. So I know this ultimately ends up at C, which means this is a 5 of 5. And maybe I should notate this as being a different key. D. And now all of a sudden back to C. 2, 5, 2, 5, 3. Oops. 3, 5 of 2, 5 of 5, and of course 5, which is the exact same progression we had up above. So let's keep rolling. 1 chord, 6 chord, same as the beginning. 2 chord, 5 chord. E7 acting as a dominant to the 6. And then we get to the 6, makes sense to me. 5, I'll write that a little bit better. 5 of 5, and of course our 5. And one more time, the reason I'm not writing this as a 2 is because it's major. It's a dominant 7 chord. It's not D minor 7, it's D7. So we're out of the key because we're heading to G. Now you could just as easily put a D minor 7 here. It would serve the same purpose. It still would lead our ear here because we're in the key of C. But for some reason the composer doesn't do that. We do get our, let me erase this, 1 chord. We have this, which we haven't seen before, but the sharp 5 is just an extension. This is acting as a 5 of 2, which we've seen above, A7. 2 chord, 5 chord. Oops. And to end the tune, end on a 1 chord, of course. Now our optional repeat. 5 of 2, 2, 5, and we're back to 1, right? G7 leading to a C. Oops, that didn't save. Let me write this again. There it goes. Okay. I can't get started with you. Beautiful tune. Beautiful tune. We go out of key for a 4-bar phrase, which I think is done pretty well. Because we had so much of the I'll go in blue here just to keep it separate, but E minor's in the key of C, so you don't hear it right away. A7 we've been hearing already, right, from up here. We also hear it again down here. We hear it again here. So that's not out of the ordinary either. But once we get this D major 7, your ear's thinking, oh, okay, we've switched keys here. And then, like I said, the composer puts a period on it and throws you this G major 7, which isn't in the key of C at all. So it's just a period saying, yeah, Yeah, we've changed keys. We're in the key D now. So I think it's really well done. And then just hits you over the head with, okay, not in D anymore. Here's a D minor. So yeah, I think it's really well done. So anyway, that's enough about that. I think that's enough information for today. Hopefully you learned something. And I'll see you for the next one.